long ago. A wonderful place existed. The Athenians called it the Acropolis. Free expression, ethics, art, philosophy. The Acropolis heralded the democracy. But if I told you the Acropolis has returned. Acropolis News. News from the Acropolis.
Welcome back to the Trevor Report with another change. From now on, no longer on Friday. I think I've said this before, but this is now a definitive absolutely, because I'm working on building infrastructure in the back end of things that will, for one, benefit everyone involved except for my enemies, of course, and two, it allows me to be a bit more flexible and expand A&N in ways that, one, makes it a bit more profitable, and two, lets me do more premium content on the side. So let's jump on into it. Why is Japanese anime becoming more and more popular in the United States? Now, we have the answer. We've had the answer for a long time now. But I'm going to admit, I definitely see the appeal. Code Geass is really good. Death Note is really good. Attack on Titan, absolutely phenomenal. Let's see. There's a few others. I can't remember. Oh yeah, Dragon Ball Z. Absolutely perfect. Dragon Ball Z Kai, of course. I don't have time to watch 300 episodes, and just getting into the 50, 60 episodes that are just the actual story, it's a lot better for me, because I don't really have much time. But I saw Dragon Ball Z Kai when I was a kid. Bleach is pretty good. There's a new season of Bleach coming out. Anime is becoming more and more popular in the West. Okay, why? Well, the Western world has a free market economy, so whatever people need, the free market provides, as it were, and well, we're in desperate need for good stories. There's The Woman King. I've talked about this before on the Trevor Report. It's a movie about the Dahomey warriors of the Dahomey tribe in Africa, the barbarian slave empire. I'm not gonna watch this movie. I don't feel like watching a black nationalist propaganda film, because that's exactly what this is. What else am I supposed to infer from this? Oh, raping, pillaging, and enslaving entire peoples is okay if you have the correct skin color while doing it? What the hell? What the hell am I supposed to infer from this? This is not okay. We tell stories to instill moral lessons to children. What possible moral lesson could we derive from a barbarian slave empire? Okay, let's also talk about the new one, She-Hulk. Now, She-Hulk is a story from Marvel that's been around for the longest time. It's been around forever. I know absolutely nothing about it, and I don't care about Marvel. If I have to choose between the latest Marvel thing or Code Geass, I'm going to choose Code Geass every time. It's a significantly better story. Okay, the final episode of Code Geass is so intelligently written from so many perspectives. The main antagonist throughout the series is very, very Nietzschean. It's a very philosophically rich show. Okay, Death Note is a show that doesn't talk about how you distill justice. It's a show about what is justice, and that is far better a story than like the latest crime show now, where it's like there's a show called Lucifer, okay, and there is an angel in the show who's named Amenadiel, right? He's a Catholic archangel. Is it archangel or archangel? I'm not Catholic. Look, point being, like, this is not a black guy. This is an angel that has descended from heaven to do the will of God. Okay, and there's this episode where Amenadiel, the archangel, because he's black, gets like racist police officer do racist thing to him, and at any point this archangel could just beat him up. It'd be very easy for this archangel to just get out of this situation as quickly as possible. He has the power to slow down time. He can literally just vanish like that. But no, we gotta tell the story about how black people are oppressed by society for the billionth time. We gotta have the barbarian slave empire. we gotta tell the moral consensus of the barbarian slave empire because black people are oppressed. A funny story. The Dahomey warriors are responsible in a lot of ways for the slavery that black people face. Okay, they're the ones that would bring the slaves to the slave traders in the continental slave trade and the U.S. slave trade. I gotta get ready to like go to some event with my friend in like an hour. So I'm rushing this a little bit as it were. Not gonna get to the election results for the Anthony Sabini race in Florida. If you were trying to get that this episode, I'm sorry. Please continue watching. It's very, very good for me. But then there's also the Disney front. You would expect Disney, of all institutions, to not be colonized by secular Catholicism, but then there's the people who staff Disney with their quote not at all secret gay agenda, and it just kind of becomes a point where, you know what? Yes, I watch anime. I prefer it. I prefer. Okay, and don't get me wrong. Even in Code Geass, there's like the weird things with the women or whatever. There's like 2-3 scenes in the entire series or whatever. There's probably less. It's probably on the less than 3 side. You just push the fast forward button. I'd rather push the fast forward button like once or twice in an entire series than have to deal with the barbarian slave empire. Okay, and then there's the thing with She-Hulk. That's where that came from. There's a She-Hulk thing with Attorney at Law, and then the She-Hulk was explaining to the He-Hulk. I don't know anything about Hulk, but I do know this, that like the Hulk as a character in the like Marvel Cinematic Universe, right, the MCU, he's been through a lot of shit. The whole Hulk thing is basically just an analogous to cognitive identity disorder, essentially. So throughout his life he's experienced radiation poisoning. A family member of in that Hulk movie, there's a family member of his that dies, multiple family members, and of course him being the Hulk means he can't get close to anyone. And then in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the redhead spy lady Black Widow or whatever, she dies as sort of the love interest for the Hulk character. The point is, Bruce Banner in the series, and probably throughout Marvel Comics. I don't read comics. I don't have the time, and honestly, I don't care. But it just becomes one of those points where Hulk, as a human, as a person, has suffered. She-Hulk, on the other hand, has to deal with mansplaining and catcalls, and these aren't equivalent. I can't even do the sarcastic bit. These are not equivalent things, okay? The thing that Hulk experienced is suffering. The thing that She-Hulk experienced is mild inconveniences. These are not the same thing. They're simply not. But anyway, moving on to some things that are more of consequence. Trump is filing a lawsuit asserting that his Fourth Amendment rights have been violated. Yes, he should have done this last week. He should have filed immediately. He should have filed for this basically immediately, and he should do the same thing with the corporate press too. The amount of people that claim that Trump is a white supremacist, okay, because they said that, because the corporate press said that Trump is a white supremacist, okay. Here's what I think. I think the ultimate authority of what you personally believe is you. So when someone else who doesn't ask you what you think on something says that you believe X when you in fact believe Y, then they've done this on purpose. They are purposefully trying to deceive you. Now, if someone says in writing, I will assert everything Kimberly Crenshaw, a prominent critical race theorist, I will assert everything she's ever said. I will assert, not everything she's ever said, I will assert her, that she believes these things, because she put her beliefs in writing. That's what it is. Trump also puts his belief in writing, and our betters decided to ban where people primarily read it on Twitter, essentially. And it just becomes, and it just gets to a point where you know what? The only thing these people care about at the end of the day is the money that's in their wallet. These people who violate our rights, deprive us from equal access to the public square, and defame us constantly. Okay. This is regardless of wherever you fall on the political spectrum. Okay, I follow enough people on the left and enough people on the right. It just gets to a point where you just have to say, look, listen, betters, if you continue to do this to me, I will personally see to it that you are no longer an aristocrat. Okay, that's what I'm doing right now, building infrastructure, trying to create multiple revenue streams to incorporate with the business. Okay, I want to get to a point in the next, 3, 4, 5 years from now, where I don't have to rely on foreigners in order to give me and my future children something that every society has always passed to its children. Okay. Pure moral storytelling, not moral grandstanding. Okay, there's a certain catharsis that comes with engaging with a story. Okay, it's not necessarily an Abrahamic experience, but it is without a doubt spiritual. Okay. Or I guess it's not a very religious thing, but there is definitely a spiritual aspect to engaging with a story from beginning to end. Okay, a story from beginning to end that isn't debauched by, hypothetically speaking, black nationalism. Okay, it just gets to a point where you just have to say, enough. I don't want to participate in your systems anymore, and because there's not very many other systems that exist, and because these systems also have some problems, I guess I'll just have to create a separate system. Okay, that's what we got to do now. Okay, and the reason we got to do this now, and we'll get into it in a moment, but let's continue. We'll read this from the Hill, and we'll read what Alan Dershowitz has to say about legal firms, and then we'll contrast it with an article from The Guardian 10 years ago. But anyway, let's read this spiel from The Hill. That's probably in their news. That's in the news section of Yahoo News. It's not labeled as opinion anywhere, but it's an opinion article. But anyway, former President Trump on Monday said a lawsuit filed by his legal team against the U.S. government calls for the Justice Department to stop reviewing documents he says were illegally obtained during an FBI search of his Mar-a-Lago property, which he referred to as a break-in. Yes, the Gestapo stormed the castle because America is a Monty Python sketch. Anyway, quote, "We have just filed a motion in the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of Florida, strongly asserting my rights, including under the Fourth Amendment of our Constitution, regarding the necessity, unwarranted, and un-American break-in by dozens of FBI agents and others of my home, Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida," Trump said. There's another thing we have to get into. The approval for the raid said something like any and all documents, which is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment says a lawful search and seizure includes a specific document. Okay, I should have gotten the Fourth Amendment up on screen, but if you don't have your first 5 amendments memorized, if you're an American and you don't have at least the first 5 amendments of the Constitution, at least conceptually memorized, there's no hope for you, so I'm not even going to bother. But anyway, there's more things. It's like, he has executive privilege. Yes, of course he has executive privilege, but it also becomes a point where the FBI was like, okay, so we acknowledge you have these things. Make sure you secure these things. Put a padlock on these things. And then the FBI went in and stole the things that they were perfectly fine with for months on end that he had. And then they broke the lock that they asked him to put on, which is a level of unnecessary stupidity. He's also said, "I'll cooperate with law enforcement in any way I possibly can," which in retrospect, Trump probably shouldn't have said, because that probably includes getting on your hands and knees and sucking off the FBI, apparently. But anyway, so Alan Dershowitz has essentially admitted that we don't have equal justice under the law in the United States, which, bravo, Alan Dershowitz. Bravo. You're about 3 years behind, but fine, I guess. I don't know. Alan Dershowitz, the lawyer who defended former President Donald Trump in his Senate impeachment trial, told Insider that most reputable law firms weren't letting their attorneys go anywhere near Trump as his legal issue snowballed. Quote, "All big law firms have been told that their firms won't let them do it. The firms won't let them go near any case involving Trump. These are the firms that want to continue to have clients, and they know that if they represent Donald Trump, they'll lose all clients. Well, I guess I now have to start a fucking lawyer firm on top of a music label. I guess I have to create an entire lawyer firm on top of a goddamn multimedia empire. Created the news thing because I got really sick and tired of the corporate press lying about my beliefs on live television over and over again. And now because our movies and film and TV have just been completely debauched to the point where it's openly embracing black nationalist fervor. I guess I'll just have to create movies and TV shows. I guess I'll have to create music because every single song is effectively the same and it pisses me off. I guess I'm just going to have to create an entire law firm so that people can have access, so that every citizen in the United States can have equal access to their goddamn Miranda rights. You have you know this when people get arrested in movies and TV, you have a right to an attorney. Well, not Trump apparently, because Trump is the bad man. Trump is the evil orange fascist man who isn't a fascist. Trump is the racist orange man who isn't racist. Trump is he's not even orange. I've seen Trump in person. He does not have peach orange skin. Oh my god. This is insufferable. But anyway, from The Guardian, 10 years ago. Keep this in mind. Why the ACLU is right to represent the Ku Klux Klan. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. If you're a citizen of the United States, you have access to the rights that all citizens of the United States have. Sorry about that, but have to drew it in for some people. These things are pre-recorded, but someone's probably gonna comment, "Oh, don't be so close to the microphone." That was the point. You can read this article if you want. It's a fascinating article, not because it says anything out of the blue and out of the park. It's just basically, should we violate the rights of people because of our prejudice to their beliefs? No. Bravo. This would be considered stunning and brave in the latter end of the beginnings of the 21st century. Like, this is, oh wow, we shouldn't deprive people of their rights because we don't like what they believe, because at the end of the day, people can't control what they believe, because the things that people believe are ultimately the products of their their circumstances. We, the left, believe that that's how beliefs work. It's so stupid. But anyway, speaking of stupid, gonna go a wee bit past the time mark on this one. We're gonna read something from Al Jazeera where they're rationalizing why Trump made a joke, essentially. But anyway, why did Trump endorse the Democrat who led the impeachment probe? Trump accused of meddling and trying to fool voters in election that will decide Democrat candidate for Congress. Former U.S. President Donald Trump, a Republican, has released a pair of surprise endorsements for the upcoming midterm elections, lavishing praise ahead of the Democrat primaries in New York on two Democrat candidates central to his first impeachment by Congress. It's almost as if he's having fun. It's almost as if he's not being serious. It's almost as if he's just trying to get bragging rights, okay? If I was in a position where I can endorse a candidate regardless of party and they would win on that alone, not gonna lie, I would probably not have endorsed Dr. Oz. But anyway, as it were, like, Trump can have his fun, okay? Trump owns his own lips, okay? He can say what he wants. His lips are his property, okay? But I'm not going to read it. I don't want to go over time. I'm actually quite limited on time today, as it were. But they're like, oh, Trump just endorsed a multimillionaire opponent in case you needed a reminder of what. No, he's endorsing people that hate him for bants. And honestly, if I was in his position, I'd probably do the same thing. That's just funny. It's a good meme. But Al Jazeera goes on a very, very lengthy tirade trying to rationalize this joke, and I don't know. I'm done reading Al Jazeera. I don't even read Al Jazeera that often, but reading this article was a chore, and I'm glad I don't ever have to do it again. In fact, I'm going to purposefully go out of my way to delete the information in my brain regarding this article, because this is nonsense. Reading this article actively wasted 10 whole minutes of my day. Okay? I don't have much time today, but I wasted my time today. Anyway, CNN not waiting to make any more changes at Network Insider says they're not going to wait out deals. The sudden ouster of CNN's Brian Stelter last week, despite recently signing a new contract, shows SEO Chris Licht or Light or whatever German last name. I don't speak German. I don't care. Isn't going to wait for existing contracts to expire before making changes. An insider tells Fox News Digital. The abrupt cancellation of Stelter's show, reliable sources. Reliable sources to me just reminds me of Pravda from Russia. If you speak Russian, please tell me what that means. But it's like, I don't know. I think the word Pravda means like truth or whatever. Might share roots of like Providence or whatever. No idea. Don't speak Russian. Don't care. But, it's just like, oh, reliable sources. Truth. No. Shut up, you idiot. Shut up. Now that you have more time on your hands and you've already made a bunch of money, Brian Stelter, perhaps it's time for you to diet and exercise, basically. I mean, not going to work for any corporate press institutions anymore, that's for sure. But anyway, on that note, Fauci stepped down. There are a lot of people speculating that he doesn't want to face persecution from Republicans. And by persecution, I, of course, mean his just desserts for handling the pandemic terribly. His just desserts for having every single opinion on the COVID-19 pandemic that you could possibly have. Every single one, flip-flopping on every issue, and just being oppositional to Trump because that's what your fellow corpos told you to do. Okay, there's also being paid more than the president. What else can we chastise Fauci for? Oh yeah, the NIH funding of murdering dogs. There's no way to put that lightly. Murdering dogs, putting like some kind of cloth covering mask thing filled with flesh-eating insects and putting it on the faces of dogs and all of these other things, and for being a complete dipshit who went out of his way to hurt dogs. This video is going on YouTube, so I can't say another thing about him that's truthful, so I'm not going to. In the meantime, my name is Trevor Brown, and you just watched the Trevor Report. Do click the link tree down below in the description that I was forced to make because Linktree banned my Linktree for opposing black nationalism. So I made my new one and put it on the website, and guess what? It's, as you guessed, down below in the description. Please click. All of you brilliant viewers out there, my name is Trevor Brown. I am the editor-in-chief of Acropolis News Network because I can give myself whatever name and title I want because I own it. You could go to theacropolisnews.com, or you could go to This Just Trevor on whatever Liberty platform is your choice. Except for the ones I'm not on because I haven't seen them pretty much.
Acropolis News. News from the Acropolis.